How's it going, everyone? Famine52 back again, and today we're continuing on with Final Fantasy 16. Let's get going. Alright, welcome back, everyone. So in the last episode, we went and we defended the castle of Rosalind from Titan and his cronies. We took Titan's hands, like we just freaking cut them off. Not Titan, but his dominant, Kupka, I believe his name is. But we just cut off his hands at the end of that fight. And I'm not quite 100% sure what to make of this yet. But Torgal, he has a second form. And judging by the fact that it's called the Blood of Fenrir, he's embodying Fenrir? What? Okay. I mean, if you say so, game. That seems a little absurd to me. Fenrir normally is a enemy in Final Fantasy games, not normally a party member or a summon. So we will see what is going on with that. We are supposed to be talking to Otto, but since we're here, might as well talk to Enecter first. Take a look at the hunt board. See what we got. So the Muddy Murderer. Ooh. Rumor is spreading throughout the southern reach of Rosaria of a pool of opalescent ooze that has been sighted in the moors and meadows of the region. While it resembles naught but a puddle of strange sludge, from a distance, any man or beast that draws too close is met with a mass of slimy hands that drag their prey into a gaping, grinning maw. Is this what we want for our children? At Hawk's Cry of Rosaria. Okay. And this is a Class A hunt. We will get 30 renown and 12,000 gil. Holy crap. Alright, so let's go and talk to Otto since we are here.
Otto, is now a good time?
It's not a bad one. How's Jill doing?
Oh, she's been better. Ty is making sure she gets the rest she needs.
Good.
Any word on Kupka's movements?
Vivian's doing what she can to try and track him, but she's feeding on scraps. We've sent ours out to the Cursebreakers and their other friends in the west, asking them to keep their eyes peeled for anything unusual. No leads yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Right. Let me know when you find something.
There he is.
Who the hell are you?
Clive? Still busy saving the world.
Mid. When did you get back?
Just now.
What about your studies?
Adjourned. Since Hugo Kupka invaded Rosaria. All the canvas in uproar about it. He's gone mad.
This is
He's
Sid's
turned
daughter.
Rogue. It'll be us next. You try concentrating with all of that.
All right, you win.
How long will you be staying this time?
Dunno. A while, most likely. Any road, while I'm here, I was hoping you could do us a favour.
Mid. You can't just expect me to...
Please, oblige her. While we are busy tracking down Kupka, you should have a little time to spare.
Professor! Now there's a face I haven't seen in a while. Shouldn't you have it buried in a dusty old tome?
I did, till a familiar trill pricked my ears. As ever, your exuberance is a breath of fresh air, which successfully scattered the painstakingly assembled fragments of my thoughts.
I'll take that as a compliment. Well, Clive, you heard the professor. So, I'll meet you in the storeroom when you're done.
Wait, hold on.
I missed her
Breath
name.
of fresh air. Bloody tempest, more like.
That is Sid's daughter.
Oi, Otto, you got my gil?
Huh? What are you on about?
My fee for bringing Mid across.
Oh, Mid.
She said you were paying.
That little...
The storeroom, was it? I wonder what Mid's plotting.
I mean, that is a great question. Where are the storerooms? They are up there. Very well. Let's go ahead and meet up with Mid, shall we? What the hell is Mid short
Shouldn't you
for?
be getting some rest?
Because Sid is short for Sidolphus. What is Mid short for? Midolphus? Mideline. Madeline? I have no idea.
You took your time.
I'm a busy man, Mid.
I'll get to the point then. I want to turn the room down there into a workshop like the one I had at Dad's place.
Mid, you've only just come back.
And I've been thinking about it for a while. Dad said I had a knack for engineering. Told me everything he knew about it. Then sent me off to Canva to learn everything he didn't. That was his dream for me. That one day I'd put my studies to use for the good of the cause. But I'm helping no one stuck at school. I've studied enough. It's time I put my knack to work.
Mididol? Mididol. Mididol. How the hell do you pronounce that name? Mididol. Sorry, I had to interrupt the cutscene because I remembered that this was a thing I could do. And I had to know her full name. And now I'm kind of upset that I did because I have no idea how to pronounce that. Mididol. Mididol? Fuck it.
I know that I can help the people here, and I want to do it.
Well, well, well. If Sid could see you now. All right. I'll tell Otto you'll be staying.
I knew you'd say yes. Which is why I wrote up a list of jobs for you.
For me?
Who else?
What do you want me to do?
First things first, I need equipment and materials to start making my own. There's the designs for the stuff I need, and the stuff it needs smithing from. The other materials I can work myself. Just need a generous benefactor to lay them on for me. Apart from the wood, I'll need a carpenter for that, but I can just borrow yours.
Is that everything?
For now. I'll let you know if I need out else.
Getting to work. Accepted and prioritized?
Where to start? Materials and tools. That means Karen and Blackthorn.
So,
Sid's gonna chop off
speak
Cooper's
with
head.
Karen and speak with Blackthorn.
You were
I
born
was
to
going to do
one.
both of those anyway, so might as well take care of that now. This girl confuses me already.
Nearly there. Just need to get these last boards nailed on.
Sorry, I thought one of those was Vladimir again. Apparently not. Let's go ahead and talk to Blackthorn.
Blackthorn, you busy?
What does it look like?
I have a commission for you. From Mid. She requires certain tools.
Supply kit, hand it over.
Do you think you can make them?
Bloody hell. What's she planning to build with this stuff? An airship? I'll see what I can do. Tell her I'll bring them over when I'm done.
My thanks. And Mid's, no doubt.
Alright, before we move on to Karen, Blackthorn has a yellow dot to let... Actually, before we do that...
I'll make Mid the stuff she needs. Just give me a bit of time to work it.
Before we do that, let's go ahead and talk to Karen, because she might have some new equipment for us to purchase.
Was wondering where you'd got to. Mid's back from Canva. Have you seen her?
Just now. She's planning to set up a workshop in the stores and ask me to buy her some materials. Here's the list.
List of materials. Hand it over.
Think you can find everything on there?
This lot. Wouldn't be much of a trader if I couldn't.
Excellent. As for payment,
It's paid 100 times over by what that girl's done for us. If it weren't for her filters, we'd have naught to drink but blight water. and that would have drained the life out of us long ago.
Indeed it would.
I'll send the stuff on to Mid when it comes in.
Thank you, Aaron. That just leaves the carpenter. Let's see if Bardolph's available.
Let's go ahead and talk to Karen, see what she
And
has this
what
for
can
sale.
I do for you?
Let's see, she has a platinum sword, which I don't need. A hunter's waistcloth, which is significantly worse than the Drake Slayer's belt, but I'm still going to purchase it.
It'd better all be here.
Not going to equip it. We have the hunter's arm cloth, which is only slightly worse. It's a lot worse than the HP than our hunter's arm cloth, or than our mithril wristles. Still going to purchase it, not going to equip. Not worrying about these still. I have more than enough gil to purchase these now, but still not going to worry about them. Alright, and as for sellables, I have 5 gil bugs and 16 black blood. I did do a little bit of experience farming off camera, got up to my next level, and where I was farming, I was killing a lot of chocobos, so that's why I got quite a fair bit of black blood. So let's go ahead and sell those. Very well. And
Come again.
that is
Oh,
that.
don't. I'm not much bothered.
Now
either
let's
way.
see what Blackthorn has for us to craft.
What do you want?
A grindstone. It is going to take the 11 bolt, an earth shard, and a meteorite, and it is going to increase our current equipment by 5 points. So you know what we're going to be doing,
Should last you a good while.
and equipping it. And then not going to make that, nor am I going to make that. Though I will come over to the crafting and upgrade the hunter's waistcloth
You can thank me later.
to the +1 and the +2.
Not my best work, but it'll do.
And then for... Ooh. What is the Earth and Fury? Did I miss an upgrade somewhere? Or a piece of material somewhere? I have no idea. But if I find that, I will be upgrading, even though... I mean, health is the same as what we currently got. The defense is a little bit worse off, though. Now, what else do we have? We have a new letter up in our housing. So let's go ahead and read that. Homecoming. I apologize for what happened in Rosalith. I fear what might have been had not you, Gav, and Torgal fought so fiercely. Once again, you were there when I needed you the most, and for that I shall be forever grateful. Seeing the city I had once come to know as my home reduced to flames and rubble has left me with such sadness in my heart. But the time for looking back is beyond us. We must focus on here and now. Our memories will be waiting for us when this is all through. That is very true, Jill. Although I am still upset that you two have not kissed. I don't think I've ever wanted two video game characters to kiss this much in my life. And I don't know why I am so invested in it. We have things to... We do not have... We should have things to tell to the chronicler. It might not level him
Tom
up,
says he's
though.
looking for books about Torgal. I know.
How good it is to see you, Clive. I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. You wish
Okay, yeah.
to study the tomes?
Didn't level him up all that much. What the hell do you... So, Torgal is Clive's faithful hound who is fiercely protective of him and his allies. When Jill claimed close to death in the courtyards of Rosalith Castle, something awoke within him, transforming Torgal into something akin to an icon.
Did you learn everything you needed?
Yeah, So I am standing by the fact that Torgal was only partially primed there. So I'm waiting for like a full on like Fenrir mode, which I am incredibly curious as to how they're going to pull that off in a Final Fantasy game. Especially because a lot of Final Fantasy is not really based in Norse mythology. I think the only like Norse thing that Final Fantasy has is, generally speaking, Odin. So Fenrir is a little weird. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk to the carpenter.
How do, Master Sid?
Bardolph. Maid's looking to build a workshop in the storeroom, and she needs the aid of a skilled carpenter. So naturally I thought of you.
Well, I'd love to help the young miss however I can. But I'm afraid I got my hands full just keeping this place afloat. There's holes need patching, and if I don't patch them, we'll all of us sink into the mere. I'd gladly spare Mid all the time I have, but the sad truth is, I ain't got none.
I see.
It don't have to be me, though, does it? What about that other fella? You know, the one over at Martha's Rest. Bernard, was it?
That's right. And he is a friend of the cause. I'll ask Martha if she can spare him. Thank you, Bardolph.
Least I could do.
So, I really want to get a better look at this sword, because this sword looks interesting. I'm not sure how I like it, but it definitely does look interesting. And we are supposed to be going to Martha's Rest. I will not be going to Martha's Rest right now. Instead, first and foremost, I will be heading over here to Hawkscry Cliff and seeing if I can't find the hunt. And it was talking about something about being pulled into the moors and everything, or pulled into the swampy depths. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. I mean, if it's not one of these, it's got to be up in here, right? But instead of going through the city, I'll go this way and across the bridge.
Faster!
Time to fight.
And is it a Flan enemy? That is the question. Because we have a hunt that we need to get some jelly from. And that just screams Flan to me. Also, there's normally a Drake right here? Where the hell is the Drake? Is it down here? Oh god. Okay, you're forcing me off. There he is. Hello, Flan Prince. How are you doing, bud? A level 38 hunt. Very well. I need to see. Ow. We got wind and lightning. Wind, lightning, and ice, you say? And now stone. Ow. Ow. Oh, and now we got fire. Got it. Flanny Prince. That did not do any stagger damage. Ooh, he got me good on that.
Nice try.
Beautiful, beautiful. We got a stagger. Upheaval. Let's go ahead and do an Earth and Fury. Then whatever this is called, I forget. Ignition. Then let's do a Flames of Rebirth. And then a Heat Wave. Then that is all the magic that we're going to have right now. Ooh, dual cast, you say? This guy literally has every element that we are able to cast. Alright, alright. So dual cast with the tornado and then the ice again? No, the earth. Got it. Okay, heal. Ow. Heal. You know what? Strength tonic as well.
Come on.
Okay, no.
That's already.
Okay.
Not good.
No, I moved. I moved. I moved. Restarting from near to the obelisk. We're doing this again. Because I dodged out of the way of that. That was a cheap death. That was a very cheap death. That was an annoying death. I refuse to admit that death into my death count. I will gladly analog the death from the Minotaur into my death count, because that was me being stupid. That death was, hey, I dodged, but it doesn't matter that I dodged, because the game is not going to acknowledge the fact that I'm no longer in the hit area.
Nothing.
You know what? With how long this fight is, I'm going to start this off with a climb. I did like next to no damage, but I did get a fair bit of stagger in. And pull you down. This ain't gonna do shit.
Too slow. I needed that.
And we should be getting to that stun here pretty soon. There we go. Let's go ahead and start off with that ignition. And then a heat wave. And then let's go ahead and get this going. Then I'm going to get this.
Too slow. This one. Let's try. This one. Over here. Yeah. Nice try.
Got that second stagger in. There we go. Go ahead and dual cast, I don't care. Alright, he's going down here pretty soon. There we go. Notorious Mark slain. Granting us 5,200 experience points, 95 ability points, 12,000 gil, as well as 30 renown, and a gelatinous mass.
Well, it's dead now. Whatever it was.
Well, that was the Prince of All-Fland, my dude. Come on. As for the actual fight, definitely the hardest one yet, but wasn't too bad. I'm going to say that the Crystalline Dragon was a harder fight, though that one was more fun. Not too bad of a fight, except for the cheap death in the first round.
Ah, Clive, what brings you to the rest?
Our home finds itself in need of an extra carpenter. I wondered if I might be able to borrow Bernard for a short while.
I don't mind if he don't. We're all friends here, aren't we?
Thank you, Martha. Do you know where I might find him?
He went up to Cressida on business. No idea what, mind. Place is a ruin. Far as I know, he's still there.
I'll look from there then.
Alright, so of course the man that we have come to pay a visit to is not here. He is in the ruins of Cressida, which... Very well, they are right there. So does anybody know what these are yet? Like the Hand of Hyperion. Like, I can't access them. I have no idea what they are. I have found a few of them now. I believe I have found 3 of them at this point. And it bugs me that I can't do anything with them. Anyway, let's go ahead and call Ambrosia.
Ready,
and
go?
make our way to the quest marker. It's not that far away. Crayclaw, Gloom Widow, Spider, Gillaby, and we're going to be basically right across the way over here. I believe this is going to be the Minotaur patch. Like there's like 1 or 2 Minotaurs around here somewhere. But they're apparently not bugging us today. Why, hello there, sir.
Hi. If it ain't the lad who saved my life. What brings you to a place like this?
You do, Bernard. Martha said I might find you here. I have a proposition for you.
Oh, do you now? Building a workshop, you say? Well, that beats tacking boards to bridges, sure enough. And if Martha didn't mind me being gone a while, then neither do I. You just tell me where you want me.
That's the spirit.
I couldn't ask a favor, though, could I? Before we go?
Of course.
Well, that there is Cressida, where I grew up. Ain't much left of it now, though. Except my parents' graves. But I came up here hoping to visit. I even patched up the bridge to get across. Only to find the place crawling with fiends. But you're a dab hand when it comes to dealing with beasts and bogles, ain't you? Any chance you could,
I got
it's
you,
the least
buddy.
I can do.
Well, thank you kindly. And take care.
I got you. I'll go ahead and take care of these beasts for you.
This shouldn't take long.
Let's go ahead and draw them in a little bit. And Flames of Rebirth. New enemies approach. Got Vampire Thorns, which are another one of those weird plant-like enemies.
This one.
You know, I did not even mean to dodge right there. I just happened to press that button at the exact right time. New enemies approach. What do we got here? Oh, we got a wyvern. Ow. Precision dodge. Hey, Torgal has transformed. I wish I knew how to control that.
Go for it. This one.
Dodge!
Over here. Sickle. Torgal, kill.
Got him. Enemies slain. Granting us 170 experience, 90 ability points, and 390 gil, as well as a dragon talon, a couple of sharp fangs, some magic ash, and a gill bug.
That should do it.
You made short work of that lot. Thank you, son. Now my folks can rest in peace once more.
How long is it since the village was abandoned?
Oh, people started packing their things after the duchy fell. Between the Blight and the Imperials, you just couldn't make ends meet. Must be nigh on a decade since the last wagon left. Though it may as well have been a century, looking at the place. This isn't the Cressida I remember.
I'm sorry.
Ah, don't be. Can't live in the past, no matter how nice it might have been. As soon as I'm done saying a prayer for those that raised me, it's onto your hideaway. I'll meet you there.
Good guy,
That should
Carpenter
take care
Man.
of Mid's little list. Better head back before she thinks of anything else.
I mean, I'll go talk to her, but you know there's got to be something up in here, right? Unless that's just a cemetery. Hey, treasure chest and an item. 10 chunks of wyrite, and the item is 3 clam shells. We got anything over here? Looks like I might be able to go in here, which I can. So is there an item or a chest up on the upper floor? There is indeed. With 10 spools of steel silk. Anything back here? Does not look like it. Very well, very well. At some point there's probably going to be something down that well for a quest or something. Anything inside of this building? Nothing I could do anything with right now. And I've already got those treasure chests. Alright, so let's go ahead and go down into the roundabout area. See what we got down here. There is an item. There's a couple of items. 3 clam shells. And then over here we got 3 more clam shells. But that looks to be all. Very well. So let's go ahead and head on back to the hideaway. And a buddy of mine brought up a theory he had about something. So I want to try to test that out for him right now. So, buddy, if you ever watch this, no, it's not that buying you drinks refills your health. Just coming to the hideaway refills your health. So don't need to worry about buying drinks for the peoples anymore. The game automatically refills your health for you. But let's go ahead and talk to Midala? No, it was Midala. I see why they just call her Mid. Because her real name is impossible to say.
All right, Clive. You've all done then?
I am. I've placed your various orders, and a carpenter by the name of Bernard is on his way from Arthur's Rest.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Clive.
Is there anything else you need?
Nope. Blackthorn and Lady Karen have already sent over everything I asked for, and I've got all my plans drawn up. So as soon as Bernard gets here, we can get to work. I can't wait.
Quest completed! Getting to work. 300 experience and 35 renown, as well as a Breath of Earth wind-up. Reduces cooldown time for Breath of Earth, or for wind-up, by 3 seconds.
That's my good deed for the day done. Let's see how Jill's faring.
Is there anything up here, by the way? Okay, so
Alright,
there are
Sid.
people up
I'm
here.
starting to worry about you.
Good to see you, Sid.
Hey, treasure chest.
Weather, isn't it?
Ooh, with a goblin coin. Oh, someone to speak to. Suspicious character, eh?
I hear your scout made quite a hero of himself over in Rosalith, sniffing out a score of terrified townspeople and ushering them to safety. Or so he claims. I hear your scout made quite a hero of
Very well. So that is clean, fresh drinking water right there. Very well. And there are side quests, by the way. One in the infirmary for do no harm. One over here, the weight of command. Any more side quests throughout the world? Doesn't look like it, but I will confirm with the quest dude just to make sure. And can't go down there because the things are not yet built. I'm assuming do no harm is going to be a medical quest. If I go in here, it's going to do the... Okay, I guess I'm going in.
Ah, Clive.
Talia, how's Jill?
Recovering, but she still needs her rest.
Of course. Take good care of her, won't you?
I'll do my best. Oh, Gav was looking for you. He said he had something to show you in the shelves.
The shelves. Oh, that's right. He went to ask Harpocrates about Torgor. He must have found something.
He must have. Rodgear the Physiker.
You have the look of a man with the twins upon his shoulders, Rodrigue.
Talia has tasked me with removing a Cursebreaker's brand. But it's my first time, and I don't think I can do it. I'm afraid of what happens if I fail. You survived, I know, but here as many die as recover. Is it really worth the risk?
You don't need me to answer that. You know full well what we're fighting for. I hope as much as you that one day bearers can walk among others as equals. But until that day, a brand is a burden, and we must lift that burden in order to go undetected. The operation may be dangerous, but it's also essential, and we undergo it willingly.
I know. I still wish there was some other way. But griping about my lot helps no one, I suppose. Don't worry. I'll do what must be done.
I know you will.
Unfortunately, the first thing that needs doing is the preparation of a draft to dull the pain. Something I can't do with the infirmary's ammonia supply so low. What few leaves we have would barely be enough for removing a splinter, let alone a brand.
I shall help you out then.
Just tell me what you need.
You'll go? Oh, thank you. No one knows Herblore like Taya, and she swears by ammonia for easing pain. It's simple enough to find, if you know where to look. And fortunately for you, I do. Along the river near the village of Amber over in Rosaria. Just search for the bright blue blossoms.
Very well, do no harm. Accepted and prioritized. And let's go ahead and take on the next side quest as well before heading out.
The little uns have been up to their old tricks again.
From Doris?
Do you have a moment, Sid? A team of Cursebreakers has gone missing near Northreach.
Which team?
Coles. They were sent to liberate a carriage of bearers before they could be smuggled to market. They were moving in for their assault when the carriage was attacked by goblins. A Cursebreaker managed to release a Stolas amid the confusion, but... this was days ago. They should be back by now, but I've heard nothing from any of them. I can't help but worry that...
They know the work is dangerous. But I'm sure they're fine.
But what if I've got them all killed? Before they go out, I always remind them why we're doing this, what they escaped, and what we're freeing people from. But I never really thought how my words might affect them. What risks they might take because of the things I've said.
I shall go find them for you.
I'll go and find them. We'll both rest easier knowing they're safe.
Thank you, Sid. And I'm sorry to trouble you with this. The plan was to intercept the slaver somewhere in the Dragon's Eyrie. I can't tell you much more than that, I'm afraid.
That should be enough to go on. If they were there, Torgal will track them down.
The weight of command accepted and prioritized. So, that tells me that it's time for us to go. I guess to Northreach, even though it was mentioned that they were in Dragon's Eyrie. But we're starting in Northreach. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to Dragon. And collect the potion. And then collect wherever this is going to be. Another potion, very well. And then take on the wolves. And this is new. What's going on here?
Get me back on it.
Cole, I'm glad you're in one piece.
Just about. Sid, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here?
Doris sent me to find you. She hasn't heard anything since the attack. She's been worried about you.
I sent a runner to the Dame in Northreach. The hideaway should have learned of our survival yesterday.
Well, I'm here now. And it looks like you freed the bearers.
Only some. The rest locked themselves in the slaver's carriage rather than fleeing when they had the chance. I want to help them, Sid. But we're barely in any state to protect those few we did save.
You made the right decision. Now where's the carriage?
The goblins may still be out there.
You have duties to attend to here. See to the injured. I'll handle the rest.
All right. Just follow the path to the south. You'll come across the carriage soon enough. And please, hurry. If the beastmen get to those bearers, the poor souls will be eaten alive.
I won't let that happen.
Thank you. And Cid, it's good to see you.
Don't thank me just yet.
Very well. So a carriage to the south, you say? I mean, is it that one right there that is clearly within sight? Somebody tells me that it might be.
They're trying to get into the carriage.
I really don't like these Gigas. This Gigas has not gotten the better end of this encounter. Alright, if that's the way you want to play it. Come on, hit me again. I dare you. Enemies slain. Getting us 130 experience, 78 ability points, 344 gil, as well as a bone necklace and some magicked ash. I really do enjoy Titan.
Who are you? A friend. Are there any more survivors? Why didn't you flee with the others? If the goblins had made it through that door, you wouldn't have stood a chance.
Why should we run? One miserable death's no worse than another.
Perhaps. But we're here to give you another choice. Freedom, safety, the life you've been denied. Come with us. Let us protect you.
Cid, I couldn't just let you... You weren't too late then. Thank the gods.
This man risked his life to save yours. To give you a second chance.
Fine. Do with us what you will.
What we'll do with you is take you to safety. After that, it's up to you. Your lives are your own now.
You can leave the rest to us, Cid. We'll get everyone back to the hideaway.
Thank you. I'll let Doris know we're expecting new arrivals.
Indubitably. Then now let's go ahead and head over to Amber, because we have some plants to collect down by the river. And it is actually really close. So let's go ahead and make our way over there. And what sort of foul
was easy enough to
beastie?
find. Now for those herbs.
Wild raptor, you say?
Don't get surrounded.
I mean, you're right, we are surrounded. Just how I like it. Enemies slain! Now let's go ahead and collect these flowers.
This is the only plant around here with blue flowers. I hope it's the right one.
I mean, honestly...
Should be enough to keep the infirmary stocked for a while. Hopefully this will put Rodriguez's mind at ease.
Personally, I feel like we should be collecting a lot more than 3. I feel like we should be collecting, oh, I don't know, however much we can carry. But that's just me. I'm going to go ahead and take out these chocos and the bluebird, see if I can't get any black blood. Not that I necessarily need it right now, but hey, I'll take the goblin coins as well. I just like the idea of having this extra heal. Even though I'm not really purchasing anything at present. Anyway, time to go back to the hideaway, turn in our side quests, and then speak with Gav in the shelves.
The little uns have been up to their old tricks again.
Turn this in.
Cid, welcome back. A Stolas from the Dame arrived not long after you left. If I'd just waited a little longer, I might have been able to deal with things myself. Or maybe I wouldn't. I keep making the wrong decisions.
Cole and the others got home safely. You made exactly the right decision.
No, I was lucky. I've been tracking that slaver for months, and then I sent Cole and you after them woefully unprepared. What kind of leader sends people into danger without considering all the risks? I should have urged greater caution, told Cole to be wary, to pull back at the first sign of trouble.
We swore the same oath as you, Doris.
It's good to see you safe and well, Cole. I'm sorry.
With all due respect, we Cursebreakers don't risk our lives because you commanded of us. We risk them because we believe in our cause. No one with doubts ever joins our ranks. The agony of removing the brand more than sees to that.
We all know how much bravery that takes.
Cole, I never doubted your courage. Only my ability to see it put to good use. Thank you for your faith in me. I'm not sure I deserve it. I sometimes wonder if I might prefer to risk death alongside the others than ask it of them. But I'm a Cursebreaker. I swore an oath too. I have a role to play, and I must trust that I'm the right one to play it.
You will. In time.
Quest completed! The Weight of Command, giving us 350 experience and 15 renown, as well as a Breath of Fire Rising Flame, which is going to decrease the cooldown by 2 seconds, some Sharp Fangs, and some Steel Silk. And that gave us enough renown to get our next level of...
I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Your benefactors are a generous lot.
Whatever these are called, which I can't seem to think of right now. But this is a safe passage. Not long ago, I was accosted by footpads as I walked the gilded path and would have perished alone in the desert had not the Cursebreakers come to my aid. I owe them my life. May this token serve them well. And it is a dire wolf Jess.
Here you are. All done?
Not 100% sure what that is, so let's go ahead and figure that out together, shall we? Nope, not there. A dire wolf Jess. It increases combo damage by 5%. Very well. And then... there we go. Let's go ahead and turn this into this guy right here.
I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding the ammonia.
Hand them over.
Only the usual.
Oh, yes. This is it. And more than I was expecting. I dare say the patient won't feel a thing. That is, unless I...
You'll do fine. Talia trusts you, which means I trust you. The hideaway would be lost without skilled physicers like yourself.
Thank you for the kind words. Truly. But... I'm sorry. I'm still terrified. The brand is more than just ink on flesh. It's a death sentence. Milk of the wyvern tail lurking just below the surface of the skin. One ill-conceived incision, a single slip, and the poison fouls the patient's blood. Failure means death, and even success means tremendous pain. Days of agony as the wound heals. I became a physiker to help people, not to kill them. I don't want to kill anyone.
Cursebreakers lead hard lives, and the operation is only the beginning. They toil in the shadows, risking life and limb, knowing their efforts will win them neither glory nor acclaim. And yet we never won for volunteers. Why do you think that is?
Conviction? They're willing to die?
They're willing to fight. To give their lives to create a world where people like us can be more than mere possessions. I know your work isn't easy, but neither is going under the knife. Be a shoulder for your patients to lean on. Stay strong for them.
You sound like Talia. Do you know what she once told me? It's natural for a patient to feel like they're suffering in solitude. And it's a physiker's duty to see that they don't. Thank you for helping me remember that. I won't falter. Not again.
You better not, sir. Do no harm. Getting us 200 experience points and a new level. Bringing us to level 34 and our HP to 2,243 and raising everything else by a factor of 3. It looks like that it does. Very well. As well as 15 renown, a couple sharp fangs, and some steel silk. Alright, so let's go ahead and now head over to the shelves. Though, Blackthorn, the blacksmith, has a new craft for us. So let's go ahead and get crafting on that.
Jill looked white as
I don't know if we can craft it. I think that we need another Scarletite, which we don't actually have right now. Let me go ahead and confirm.
Clive. What's Sancfordian, dear?
I believe it was this. Yes, this is what needed the gelatinous mass, and I need another Scarletite. Very well.
And?
I'll be on the lookout for that. Let's go ahead and hop up in here and see what we could figure out about Torgal.
Clive, where have you been? I've been wanting to ask you something about Torgal. Where did you get him, like, in the first place?
My father brought him back from one of his expeditions into the Northern Territories. They were crossing a snowfield when they heard his cries, and seeing no sign of his pack, they took him in.
What do you reckon, Torms?
It certainly adds weight to the theory. Clive, I believe that Torgal may be no mere hound, but a rare frostwolf, an animal native to the far northern reaches of Valisthea. In one of our oldest bestiaries, I found reference to a frostwolf who served as guardian to an ancient queen of the north. Such was his mastery over ether, he could cast magics on command. His name was Fenrir.
Fenrir the Frostwolf.
Now, the annals do not state it explicitly, but I have reason to believe this queen was a dominant of Shiva, a girl from the Northern Territories and her faithful hound. One awakens as the dominant of Shiva, and the other?
You're saying that Jill granted Torgal his powers?
What?
Just like Fenrir. People called him my hound, but Torgal and Jill were inseparable. He grew up as a faithful companion to the dominant of Shiva, and years later, his powers awakened, just when his master needed him the most.
You're right. If it weren't for Torgal blasting those bastards to Kingdom Come, Jill would have been for it.
Quite. Though Torgal's power is his own, his latent birthright as a Frostwolf, it had only to be unlocked.
Oh, get you, Torgal!
You're an even finer hound than we thought.
And regarding your original concern, you need not fear for Torgal's health. Why, the beast has the appetite of a behemoth. Just this very morn, I found him with his nose buried in my nuts.
What? Phrasing?
There you are! I've been looking everywhere for you. Bernard's here. I need you to introduce us so we can get to work.
I shall be a moment.
Oh, this girl. I have a phrase for you, girl. Though I probably shouldn't say it. Sometime later.
Isn't it brilliant?
It is.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. You and everyone else. But I promise I'll pay you back. I'm gonna work my fingers to the bone for you lot. Starting right now. Just you wait. I'll make wonders like this world's never seen.
Then I look forward to seeing them. Now that that's settled, I wonder if Vivian's made any progress tracking down Kupka.
Okay, can
Thanks
I
for
make
letting me do
anything?
this, Clive. I'll pay you back, I promise.
We have everything we need to begin work in earnest.
And work in earnest we shall.
Thanks for before, son. That was a good deed you did me. Only right I do you one in return. Though I did wonder if I'd bit off more than I could chew when Mid showed me her plans for the place. If she hadn't been there to tell me what to do, I wouldn't have known where to start.
Okay, okay. I get that. But what is it that we got going on down here? I want to be able to do something. Let me do something.
I wish
wish Miss Midador would let us help her with her dungeoneering. I wonder what she's going to dungeoneer next.
Let's go and ask her.
Midadol is what that child called her.
Wait till Mid's away. It's taking too long.
So, very well, and it is time to speak with Vivian. So let's see what she's got for us.
How goes the hunt for Kupka?
Largely in circles. We have myriad sightings of strange soldiers in unexpected places, but nothing definitive as yet. If only we knew for certain by what route he left Rosalith.
Well, keep at it. If anyone can piece this puzzle together, it's you. And I'm willing to wait as long as it takes.
What? Here?
Would that be a problem?
Do you know, Clive? I believe it a mercy that you didn't inherit your father's throne. Your poor people would surely live in fear of you.
You have nothing to worry about on that front. I won't be claiming his crown.
That is a relief.
Clive, have you got a minute? We, have a guest.
A guest?
Okay.
For your trouble.
It was a pleasure, in hindsight.
Uncle Byron? Clive, my boy! Tap a cask and stoke the ovens, for your favorite uncle is here!
This is my favorite character, guys. Meanwhile, Twinside, the Holy Empire of Sambrique, the seat of the Imperial Court.
The Dhalmekian government sues for peace. How shall we respond?
If they're willing to accept their fault in the matter, I see no reason to refuse them.
Still, we must insist on substantial reparations. Twinside stores are not as bottomless as reported.
Aye, and we have many more mouths to feed. We shall just have to have the Dhalmekians empty their treasuries for us.
Of course, none of this would have been possible without your timely intervention, Prince Olivier.
Indeed, I doubt any of us would have had the courage to trade words with the mighty Titan, nor less the wit to win him over.
The Empire owes you a great debt.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you, Your Highness.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
Very good.
Now, let us come to the question of precisely when the Dhalmekians will withdraw their troops.
Dion's fire could rid us of them in mere moments. The men of the Fist will not withdraw until a peace treaty is concluded. So let us keep the negotiations open, give them time to gather what gold and trinkets they can. And once they deliver that which we demand, what worth is a piece of parchment?
Your Radiance, were Prince Dion to take the field, the enemy would surely send their own dominant to meet him. And while His Highness would of course prevail, there would be heavy losses on both.
You need not fear Hugo Kupka. He is engaged on the Western Front. Even were the Dalmex to send for him, he would not arrive in time. As much as I would enjoy witnessing a clash between Bahamut and Titan, it is not to be.
And what of your subjects, your Radiance? If the fighting spread to the city proper, the people would bear the brunt of it.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
I don't like you. Or you, for that matter.
Dion?
Yes, sire.
He reminds me of President Rose from the Hunger Games.
Prepare for battle.
But sire...
Do not make me repeat myself. Return to your camp and await my orders.
I feel bad for Dion.
If that is your wish, your Radiance, I shall depart at once. MacGregor forgive you.
What do the astrologers augur?
The stars are in agreement, your Radiance. The shadow of treachery hangs over Prince Dion.
So Annabella's tales were true. You disappoint me, Dion.
And I don't trust the kid.
What on earth is Uncle Byron doing here? Only one way to find out.
Don't think we got any more side quests, but before we go meet with Uncle Byron.
Anything catch your eye? Seen enough?
Negative. Very well. So let's go meet up with Uncle Byron, shall we?
The little ones have been up to their own. It's just one thing after another around here.
What the hell is going on with that child, by the way? The people were worshipping him like he was their new king already. I don't know what's going on, peeps.
Ah, my dear nephew. How I've missed you.
How did you find this place, Uncle?
Through the good offices of young Sir Wade. He really is the most helpful fellow. As are you, I hear. The Guardians and those they freed tell the most outlandish tales of your heroics in Rosalith. Which is why I came, to learn the full truth of the matter. Sort the fact from the fiction, so to speak.
You were working with the Guardians of the Flame to evacuate the people of Rosalith to Port Isolde.
I was, aye.
Then I have questions for you. Please, come inside, Uncle.
Gladly. You there? There are 2,000 gold talents in those chests. See that they're added to my nephew's coffers, would you?
2,000?
And I'm afraid that is all I know.
A fleet sailing south past Port Isolde. Most intriguing.
Forgive me for not being able to tell you more. I hadn't the faintest idea Kupka withdrew wounded from Rosalith. Still less that my own nephew dealt the decisive blow.
What do you think, Vivian?
I think, with this news of the Dhalmekian fleet and recent reports of the Royalists' movements, that the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Come here and I'll show you. It is known that Kupka's forces entered Rosaria via its unguarded coast. So can the same be said of your visitors from Waloed? Certainly her Royal Navy is famed for the efficiency with which it bears her knights from one battlefield to the next. And in the Einherjar, or Black Galleon, she boasts a vessel nigh as swift and every bit as feared as the kingdom's legendary cavalry. A fitting flagship for a land apart, her naval presence being crucial to her ambitions beyond Ash. Yes, it seems safe to assume that the Royalists did indeed enter Rosaria from the sea. So then, had you a vested interest in Titan's survival, whither would you take him? Why, home to Drake's Fang, a place rich enough in ether to conjure the magics needed to mend his hurts. But would that not entail an arduous voyage around the southern cape? Let us say that the Royalists did put ashore with a mind to spirit Kupka away from under your very nose. Could that truly have been their plan for him? To load him aboard one of the ships flying Republican colors sighted off the coast near Port Isolde. To spend weeks at sea, being tossed hither and yon by unforgiving waves, his life hanging in the balance. No. The journey would mean Titan's death, and Kupka's faithful creatures would not allow it. So what then was the plan of our Waluda friends? Reports suggest they made not for the coast, but for the desert. And by cutting through the Velcroy, a party traveling light would have Titan back in his bed days before a galley could lurch into port. To wit, it was the Royalists, not the Republicans, who effected Hugo Kupka's safe retreat. I would stake your life on it.
So it was the Waluders who spirited the wretch away. Now I think about it, there was something a little strange about the ships I saw. The men seemed almost crestfallen, as if in mourning, as if they believed, or were made to believe, that their master was dead.
You have a keen mind, Lord Rosfield. And you have your answer. To find Kupka, you have merely to follow the Royalist trail across the Velcroy. It may well have gone cold by now, but as they say in the Republic, all roads lead to Drake's Fang.
Allow me to accompany you part of the way. As luck would have it, I had intended to journey Canberward on business after visiting you here. The Fang would be but a short detour.
I'd be glad of the company. Give me a moment to make ready. I need to tell my friends what we've learned, and where we're going.
Very well, but be quick about it, my boy. Time waits for no man.
So I just want to point out that the only person that I've ever seen make Clive smile is his uncle.
Mate's finished.
Like, Not even Jill has made him smile.
With a little help from Cid, of course.
Of course. Our new leader's no better.
Otto, Kupka's at Drake's Fang. I'll be leaving before sunset.
You're not going in there alone, are you?
Don't worry. I'm not going there to destroy the Mother Crystal. All I'm after is Kupka's head. I won't risk any more than I have to. I promise.
The Lancer and the Fang are all Kupka's personal fiefdom. You have any trouble on the way, you ask for Rosina Dalamil, Suncaller, the Desert Hare.
Who is she?
An old associate of Cid's, and only Cid's. All I know is the name, and that they used to meet at the Dalamil Inn. We've heard nothing from her since he died. But I'm thinking maybe the new Cid might be able to bring her back into the fold.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
So, what about your uncle? I mean, he's welcome to stay, but...
Don't look so worried. He'll be coming with me.
Thank fuck for that.
Gav, Otto, I'm leaving you two in charge.
You can count on us.
Alright, and return to Byron, who is right here.
All right, Uncle. I'm ready to depart. Shall we?
We shall. Come, let us away to adventure.
Oh wow, we're starting all the way up north. Okay, that makes sense. And to the desert. The Dalmakian Republic. Beacon.
I was a young man when last I walked this path. There's an old trading post not far from here. The road to Drake's Fang leads through it.
The trading post it is.
The Riddle of the Sands. Oh, damn. Alright, so I think we're going to make it to the trading post. And then
Our
we'll...
destination lies over that dune, beyond the ruins. Mark 'em well, Clive. It's all too easy to lose one's bearings in the sands.
Yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead and make it to the trading village. And then we'll see what happens from there. Well, fine. Be that way. Okay, cool. We got more chocobos here.
Many years ago, when you were just a boy, you and I rode this way together, accompanying your father on a scouting expedition to Drake's Fang.
He let me come with you.
I'm not surprised you don't remember. It was just before Joshua was born. You were so eager to be there when your brother arrived that you whipped your chocobo too hard on the journey home and fell from the saddle. I shall never forget how Elwyn fussed over you as you sat in the sand, bawling like a babe.
I can't attack you, can I? Nope, I cannot attack the lizard. That is slightly annoying. But we have some more chocobos here. And some wolves up there. And some people right here. There's a trading chocobo caravan up here that we're coming to. It looks to be so. Very well.
Who do you think those soldiers were? So, Lord Cook has...
I feel like that quest marker lied to me. Because I could have found my way here faster if I just went there. But okay.
Ah, there she is. The good old Dalamil Inn. Do you know, this heat has given me quite a thirst. Quick drink before we press on?
I guess we could stop in for a drink. What's wrong, Torgal?
Look, there. Those are Ashen steeds. No doubt about it.
And such a long ride from Stonehair. Our Waluda friends must be soothing their saddle sores in the inn. Shall we join them? Run along and play now, Torgal. Dogs aren't allowed inside.
Good day to you. Eating?
Sorry about my pal. He only talks when his mouth's full. What do you recommend?
Well, if you're after something light, we do a fine chocobo soup with lentils and honey.
2 bowls of that, then. An ale.
Right you are.
Hey, girl!
Coming!
Your pal? Would you rather be my squire?
I'm not your buddy, pal. Something horrible is about to happen to this girl. Oh, hey! Hey! That's Joshua's person.
Grace, it is plain you are not yet well enough to travel. If you would only let me take you to someone who can better attend to your ills.
No, we must press on. Prince Theon has returned to his camp and will soon depart for the front. I must speak with him at all costs. Miss this chance and I may never get another. You do understand that?
Yes, Your Grace. You must at least agree to take your medicine. I'll fetch you some water.
That was one thick door. And Joshua, as the Phoenix, why the hell are you always sick?
keep watch, they tell us. But all I see is sand.
I hear they got our guest back to the Fang without any trouble. We'll be leaving soon enough.
Why the Lord Commander dragged us all this way just to save that blockhead skin, I'll never know. Dominant or not, he's a bloody idiot.
That'll be Cooker, then.
Well, let's get this down us. We've a long way to go.
Hey, you.
Uncle?
Sorry.
Can you walk, Your Grace?
What's wrong?
I fear trouble may be brewing downstairs.
You two are travelers, are you not? Me and my companions are strangers here. Perhaps you'd be good enough to accompany us a while. Help us find our way.
Sorry, lads, but we've got business in Camber that can't wait.
Ah, I'm sure you could spare us an hour or two. Friend.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm afraid we don't have a moment to lose. Stay back, Uncle.
Gladly.
Fucking love that, man. Oh, and I hate to do this in here, but
try it.
I'll be nice and not use my fire abilities. I'll just kill everyone as is. So that was a lunge. I was not using a fire ability. That was just me lunging.
Bravo, my boy! Just like that!
And I know control over that one. Enemies slain! Granting us 220 experience points, 24 ability points, 500 gil, and 15 bloody hides.
For your trouble. Word of advice, miss. That soup could do with a touch more salt.
Oh, that river is gorgeous.
Now's our chance. Your Grace?
I'm fine.
Clive?
How would you know? How would you know?
What is it now?
It's nothing. Let's go.
Well, if we didn't know where to find Kupka before, we do now.
The Royalists said it themselves. Their guest is in the Fang. We should press on before any more of their friends turn up.
Very well, very well.
The stoutest stoneware.
Oh, and there is nothing going on in here. Oh, looks like we've got another cutscene.
Ah, they've closed the road. And it's the only way from here to the Fang. It would seem Lord Kupka is not accepting visitors at present.
We have to get through that gate.
Not by force, I trust. We've attracted quite enough unwanted attention already.
By guile, then. Perhaps the Desert Hare can offer us her aid.
Rosina Dalamil, woman of mystery. But how will we find her? We know naught of her but her name.
And that she was working with Cid. Cid's other collaborators have all been people of means, the wealthiest and most successful members of their communities. I'll wager this Rosina Dalamil is the same.
That would certainly help to narrow the search. We need only inquire as to who is in charge of the town.
And that's exactly what I mean to do.
Looks like we won't be getting back to Drake's Fang anytime soon.
Traveling trader.
Anything I can interest you in?
Do you have a meteorite for me? Hold the phone. No, I already have that. Already have that and that. Okay. No longer using the lightning stuff, but I will purchase you for now.
Here you are.
And you do have a meteorite for me. How very kind of you. And I will also purchase a high potion.
An excellent choice.
And then max out on the strength tonics. And do I have anything to sell? Yes, I do. I have all of that.
Fare you well.
Right, and here is someone to speak to over here.
Anything I can help you with, travelers? Allow me. My good man, we represent one of the oldest and greatest trading houses of Port Isolde. We're seeking to expand our business in the region and would very much like to make the acquaintance of Dalamil's leading entrepreneurs. If only we knew where to find them.
Well, we're best known for our baths, our markets, and our smithies. I suppose you could do worse than start your search at one of those.
Thank you. You've been most helpful. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know a lady by the name of Rosina Dalamil, would you?
No. I can't say I do.
Well, thank you all the same.
Very well, and here is our second person right over here.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy?
I won't keep you long. I'm looking for someone. A woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. Do you know her?
Never heard of her. Is that all?
One more question. If I wanted to find the richest trader in town, where would you recommend that I look?
Oh, that's easy. The Briar's Kiss. Won't find a finer smithy this side of the strait. The owner's only a young sprig, but he's got all the right ideas.
The Briar's Kiss, you say? Thank you.
I doubt this young sprig is the person we're looking for. You said Sid's contact was likely to be an influential sort. Influence comes with age and experience, believe you me.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it also comes with renown. Speak with the villagers. Got someone right. Ooh, that is bloody gorgeous. Is that salt? Oh, sometimes this game just messes with you.
Can I help you?
It is so beautiful.
Yes, I'm looking for a woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. A long-standing pillar of your community, I believe, from old trading stock.
Then you should ask further. He's been here for years. Knows the place and its people like the back of his hand. And he's in with all the old merchant families. Try the baths. That's where you'll usually find him.
Thank you kindly. Well, it sounds like we have our man.
Perhaps. Let's go and find out exactly what this Furder knows.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Excuse me. Are you Furder?
I am. Can I help you, travelers?
I hope so. You've lived here for some time, is that correct? Do you know Rosina Dalamil? We believe she may be a trader of some renown.
And what business do you have with the Desert Hare?
She was a close friend of mine. I was hoping she might be able to help me.
Very well. Go to the Bordello. I'll arrange an introduction.
To the Bordello, you say?
Do you think we can trust him?
Hell no.
Only as far as I...
So you're the ones who've been sniffing around.
I beg your pardon?
Don't play the fool. Stick your nose in our business and you're likely to lose it.
I don't like being messed with. Enemies bested. Getting us 160 experience, 48 ability points, 192 gil, a couple of steel silk, and some gil bugs.
Who are you working for? Him or her?
Him. The boss. He wanted us to test you.
Though one could hardly call that a test.
Lord Furder?
Look what the cat dragged in.
Your skill with the blade is rare indeed, my lord. A fitting talent for an outlaw.
You know who I am. So what now? Call in the Men of the Rock and collect the bounty?
That isn't my decision to make. Our work is done. Take him to meet his precious Rosina. She will be interested to make his acquaintance.
Yes, my lord. To the Lock of Leisure, then. To the Lock of Leisure.
Very well. Very well.
Lights and pots!
To the Lock of Leisure.
Needed to a silken soft. Take a sniff, good sir.
The finest fabric.
Is this the place?
Lubor's Forge. The Briar's Kiss.
Ah, so it was the young sprig after all. So much for Rosina Dalamil being a woman of experience. How wrong I was.
It was an easy mistake to make, Uncle. After all, it must have been years since Sid last saw her. Sorry, him. Whoever this Lubor truly is, he's clearly a man of means. I'd say he deserves our respect.
See that he gets it. Lubor, Lord Ferda told me to bring them to you.
My boys tell me you're in need of assistance. Sid the Second.
I won't waste your time. I need passage through the south gate.
Tell me, what do you think is a merchant's most important commodity?
Knowledge.
Why, trust. Everyone knows that. Without it, you have nothing. And nothing is exactly what you have. And so, for you, I, too, have nothing. I'm not in the business of helping every lost puppy that wanders in off the street. I'm a busy man, as you can see.
Let's leave this mummer to his farce.
By all means. Find someone else to help you on your way. Just be sure to tell them you're not the two travelers from the inn the guards are looking for. Don't want them jumping to conclusions, do we?
Why, you...
So, what do we need to do to earn your trust?
I like this one. Willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. Ha! Men like you have a special place in my heart. Why, you ask? Because they get me what I want. Always.
Fine. So what do you want?
Don't tell me you're gonna listen to this swaggering scruff!
We might as well hear him out. It's only natural that an ally of Sid's would seek assurances of strangers. Assuming he is an ally, of course. 5 years ago, he would have still been a boy.
And yet even then I had more good sense than a man, 5 times my age? But enough of the pleasantries. We were speaking of what I want. I want you to put an end to the trouble in Dalamil. Return to me when you have done so, and you shall have my aid. Until then, I bid you good day.
What trouble? If you're going to give us orders, be clear about them, damn you!
Manners, Greybeard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
What did you call me?
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense. Follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
Ha! It will be easy. Solving his little riddle should be like dealing with him. Child's play. Let us divide our forces, Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
All right. Good luck, Uncle.
Follow the crystals! Accepted and prioritized.
I thought we were the only ones causing trouble in Dalamil.
So let's go ahead and see what sort of stuff we can do around town. Stable hand needs help.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men on the rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer.
Very well. Is there someone back here for me to talk to? Okay. Merchant!
Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
Very well, very well. So I got theories brewing that the guards are stealing all the crystals and not even sharing them on the black market, if I'm understanding things correctly. Hey, it's a courtesan.
Gave as good as you. What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off.
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. They'll probably be back at the inn by now.
Finest fabrics!
What was all that crashing and banging about before?
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
He's upstairs, but... Upstairs, but what? Why did he have to cut her off?
Huh?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle? Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support, if things turn sour.
You mean when?
Of course.
Hey, this person has a crystal. They just lit a cigarette with it. And we all know it's when things turn sour, not if things turn sour, right? Just getting some Y right. I'm not gonna lie, the chests in this game, they're not really all that impressive. Need a few chunks of Y right here, some steel silk there.
1,000 gil for a measly bunch.
Where are my chests that have like 10,000 gil of them, or like a knot of dark matter, or like cool swords? I'm pretty sure I've only ever gotten one sword out of a chest.
Needed to a silken soft.
The most fragrant
Like,
herbs and spices.
Let me show you what I mean before you think I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining. These right here are all of my crafting materials. Hey, I have 34 dragon talons. I have 3 minotaur manes. I have 5 bone necklaces, 1 imperial link, okay, and like 2 iron or fallen iron. These are all relatively like scarce things. None of these are in chests. Do I know what's in chests? Oh, let's see. We got Valley Matter. I got 257. We got Y right. I have 809 or 869. I have clams. I have 127 of those. Sharp fangs. I have 14,000 of those. Steel silk. I have over 600. Magic ash. I have almost 1,200 of those. Bloody hide. I have almost 1,000 of those. There's no way I'm going to be using all of this in crafting, right? There's no way. So I wish that some of the chests had better items in them. Made it more worthwhile. I don't know. Maybe I'm complaining for no reason. Maybe once we unlock certain like crafting abilities, I will find out like, oh, it takes 500 bloody hide to craft a pocket to increase the capacity of potions by 1. I don't know. Is that a spider that just climbed up out of the ground? It was a scorpion. You know what?
Thanks,
Once
Cal.
I turned around and I took the time, scorpion, be gone! They weren't technically in combat anymore. So it doesn't do any damage. That is annoying as hell. Oh boy, after seeing what I just saw, this might be a great place to do some level grinding.
Fly, Ambrosia.
I am not going to do that right now, but once I have explored everywhere in the desert on camera, this might be a great place to do some level grinding. By the way, when you're riding on Ambrosia, if you jump and you hold the X button, she kind of flaps her wings and you have like a little glide.
I'll take it from here.
Damn, that's a lot of crystals.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
So if this is going off of biblical stuff, a talent is a month's wage?
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity.
At least I
But
believe
what
it was
of
a month's
security?
wage.
If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both!
Oh, Uncle. You just had to go and give up the game.
It's not over yet, Uncle. I'm just getting warmed up.
Stab him in the back. Or you can do that.
You're finished.
Seems like a waste to use this on two, but maybe I'll catch a third. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. And it looks like the third is up there fighting with Uncle.
This one. Go, Torgal. This one. Attack.
more enemies approach.
Waken winds!
Oh, stop approaching. Get back. Enemies slain. Getting us 300 experience, 90 ability points, 360 gills, some sharp fangs, steel silk, and magic ash.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking Crystal's men for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalimil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Indubitably, indubitably. Sometime later.
It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Double the... Ugh!
Here, wear this.
It's a seal. The Desert Rose. Seal obtained.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubor.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalimil is back in bed with Sid.
Well, very well, very well.
Umia Lostelan. Tuisa Achilles.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive. So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold. Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Quest completed! Follow the crystals, getting us 300 experience, 800 gil, and 15 renown, as well as 80 whiterite and a meteorite. And new side quests have been unlocked. Very well, very well. Let's see, looking through town here, we have unlocked 2 side quests here. And then taking a look at the hideaway, we have unlocked a new letter and all of that good stuff. Ooh, as well as the new hunt. However, everyone, I believe that should all need to be taken on in the next episode. So until then, thank you all so much for joining me. Join me next time when we delve deeper into the desert, try to find Kupka, and figure out what is going on with his Titaness. But until then, this is Famine52 signing out, and peace out.